You don't want, yeah, it's too tender, you think? Yeah, it's a little bit
Delicious.
I feel like you were getting typecast or...
Yeah.
Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Simu Liu is a Canadian actor of Chinese origin who rose to fame after he was cast on the Canadian comedy Kim's Convenience Store in 2015 and the Marvel movie Shang-Chi in 2021. More recently, Simu was cast as one of the Kens in the new Barbie movie, and this casting was unpopular with some fans due to past offensive comments that Simu apparently made. And it seems that some of Simu's cast members from the Barbie movie have made some subtle digs at Simu as well. So in this video we're going to go through some of the controversies Simu Liu has been involved in and why some people think that the cast of Barbie did not enjoy working with Simu. And with that, let's get started. Before we start, I do just want to say that all of the information in this video comes from other sources which I have linked to in the description. But some of this information is speculation and I cannot guarantee the validity of it, but please remember not to be hateful or send hate to anyone. Please enjoy this video passively. Thank you. Simu's alleged offensive Reddit account. One of the biggest accusations against Simu, and the reason why a lot of people don't like him, is that Simu apparently had a Reddit account where he made several offensive comments in the past. For anyone that doesn't know, Reddit is a website with online forums about different subjects where people can discuss topics and give their opinions. These forums are called subreddits and they're places where people can share their opinions on a variety of topics. But Reddit has developed somewhat of a bad reputation because it is a largely anonymous forum where many people share very offensive and often problematic opinions. Anyway, it has been alleged that Simu had a Reddit account which was deleted several years ago. However, in 2021, some offensive posts from this Reddit account resurfaced and they were strongly linked to Simu. And this is a big part of the reason why many people don't like Simu. This Reddit story is pretty complicated, but I'm going to try and simplify it to just the main points. So the Reddit account in question was called Nipped in the Bud and seemed to be active from around 2013 to 2019 and has since been deleted. However, Reddit posts cannot apparently be fully deleted and people were able to find the old posts from this account using an online tool that can find archived Reddit posts. And this Reddit account is heavily rumoured to have belonged to Simu, and I'll explain why now. According to the screenshots shared in an article by Daily Dot, the Reddit user Nipped in the Bud once wrote a post called, "My girlfriend, 2 dogs and I did a photo session together, this is what happened." And although the photos in the posts are now unavailable, the photos apparently showed Simu and his girlfriend with their dogs. There was also another post that was in the Kim's Convenience subreddit, which is about the show Kim's Convenience, which is a show that Simu starred in. And the Reddit user said, quote, "Hey guys, it's Simu, aka Nipped in the Bud, aka Ultimate Reddit Lurker." And in another post by this Reddit user, the user signed themselves off as Simu. There's a very long Twitter thread by a Twitter user named Lewis Parker that details a lot of the alleged posts that Simu made using this Reddit account. However, the problem with this Reddit account is that it also said some questionable and offensive things. For example, in one of the posts from 2015, the Reddit user said that they were a Canadian actor, which Simu is, and they were chiming in on a topic to do with child abuse, which I will refer to as the P word due to YouTube's policies. And in the post, the Reddit user said that they had recently played a P word and did a lot of research for the role. And people have hypothesized that this was Simu's role in the series Blood and Water, where Simu's character molested his younger brother, which led him to substance abuse. However, in the Reddit post, the user likens being a P word to being homosexual and said, quote, "In the end, the role completely changed the way I look at P word and has made me much more sympathetic to anyone who is born with those urges. From a biological standpoint, it's no different than being gay, a small mutation in the genome that defines our sexual preferences." And obviously, many people said this was highly offensive and that being gay is not the same as being a P word. The Reddit user also said some sexist things such as, quote, "I am all about the gender equality, however, girls are just not as good as boys at sports." And the user also made several comments in a subreddit, which is renowned for being an incel community. For anyone that doesn't know, an incel is a member of an online community of typically young men who consider themselves to be unattractive to women, and they're typically hostile towards women and also hold very misogynistic and often racist views. There were also several other posts made by this Reddit user in other forums where there are a lot of racist and sexist ideologies, but I'm not going to go through all of them now because I want to keep this video as succinct as possible. And so many people have formed a very negative opinion of Simu because of this Reddit account that he apparently owned, and he apparently used this account to express a lot of offensive views. And although Simu has never publicly addressed or confirmed the rumours about this Reddit account, he did post a slightly cryptic tweet in April 2019 where he said, "Just a reminder that I do not ever advocate for anything other than positivity, positive cultural pride, positive iterations of Asian masculinity and femininity. That means we don't put each other down. Direct your frustration at the system that did this to all of us." And he followed this up by saying, "Disclaimer, if you dig back far enough, I'm sure you'll find a more immature version of me who gave in to anger and hate. It doesn't make me a hypocrite, it makes me a human being. Mentalities evolve, we shift and grow, and I want us all to grow the right way." Simu also liked several tweets from a Twitter user called Katie B, who was defending Simu against the allegations about the Reddit posts. And people have taken this to be an unofficial confirmation that this was Simu's Reddit account, especially due to Simu's Twitter post where he talked about, "If you dig back far enough, I'm sure you'll find a more immature version of me." Simu has also responded to several tweets in the past that were critical of him, including some tweets that didn't even mention Simu by name. So people have suggested that Simu has a team of people who scour the internet looking for comments about him. And so because of this Reddit drama, some people have formed a pretty negative opinion of Simu, and this led to backlash against him when he was cast in the Barbie movie as well as other projects. But it should be said also that this Reddit account did also post a lot of positive things, and people online have focused only on the negative posts, which were a fraction of the posts that this user wrote. And Simu has not confirmed that this was indeed his Reddit account, so these claims are largely unsubstantiated. But Simu was also involved in another drama involving actor Mark Wahlberg, which made people dislike Simu even more, and I'll talk more about that now. Drama with Mark Wahlberg. Another reason Simu is disliked by many people is that Simu has deleted critical posts that he made about actor Mark Wahlberg, which led many people to say that Simu was selling out for Hollywood. Just in case you don't know, Mark Wahlberg is an American actor, and back in April of 1988, when Mark was 16 years old, he attacked two Vietnamese American men in an apparently racially motivated attack. According to court documents mentioned in an article by Entertainment Weekly, Mark knocked one of the men unconscious with a wooden stick and then punched another man in the face, and he apparently also yelled racial slurs at the men. Mark was arrested, charged with attempted murder, convicted of assault, and served 45 days in prison. And Mark claimed that he was intoxicated at the time and that the attack was not racially motivated. But Mark's assault conviction was accompanied by another conviction for contempt of court. This came from a series of attacks that Mark had apparently committed 2 years earlier, where he threw rocks at African American school children and also apparently shouted racial slurs at them. And later in 2014, Mark applied for a pardon for these crimes on the basis that he had learned from his mistakes and was a minor at the time. However, this caused massive controversy with people saying that Mark should not be able to get away with his crimes. And Mark later said that he regretted applying for a pardon, and he also said that one good thing to come from the pardon was that he was able to meet his victims and apologise face to face. And Mark has also been involved in several other legal issues, which is why he has become quite a controversial person. Anyway, the drama with Simu Liu happened when it was announced that Simu would be co-starring with Mark in the upcoming movie Arthur the King, which is based on a book about a rescue dog. Simu had previously criticised Mark Wahlberg in a now deleted social media post in 2018, which said, Let me get this straight. Mark Wahlberg beat a helpless Vietnamese man with a stick until he passed out when he was 16 and is attempting to get the court to grant him an official pardon on the basis that he's, quote, turned his life around. However, the drama then came because Simu later deleted this critical post about Mark when he and Mark were co-starring in the new movie. Simu defended his decision to delete the critical post against Mark and said, "I deleted a couple of tweets I made regarding past actions of one of my co-stars as a gesture of professionalism and to open the door to progressive conversations and hopefully positive change. Obviously, it would be pretty weird to go to work with that tweet still up." Simu also said, "I meant what I said in the moment. I was very angry hearing about what happened. But that doesn't mean I don't think there's room to grow and work together to find an opportunity to educate and do some good." But many people slammed Simu for deleting this post and have said that Simu has sold out to Hollywood and he only deleted the posts when it became a problem for his career. And other people have said that Simu shouldn't have agreed to work with Mark in the first place based on his previous convictions that were allegedly racially motivated. And this led to Simu being disliked by even more people. And there was yet more drama that Simu was involved in, which I'll talk more about now. Comments about Chadwick Boseman. Chadwick Boseman was an American actor who rose to fame after he played Black Panther in the Marvel Universe, which garnered him critical acclaim, as well as being involved in several other projects. But Chadwick sadly passed away in August 2020 due to colon cancer, which he had been battling privately since 2016. And many people hailed Chadwick for his performance in Black Panther and that it was a great representation for the Black and African American communities. However, some comments that Simu made comparing himself to Chadwick did not go down well with fans. While Simu was on the red carpet for the movie Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, Simu did an interview with The Hollywood Reporter, and Simu had apparently been compared to Chadwick because Chadwick was hailed as great representation for the Black community, and Simu has been hailed as great representation for the Asian community because of his role in the Marvel movie Shang-Chi. However, in the interview, Simu said,
I know that, I very much follow in Chadwick's footsteps, so I'm very grateful for that you made that comparison.
But many people criticise Simu for comparing himself to Chadwick, mainly because of Simu's alleged past comments on Reddit, and also because of the drama when he deleted the critical comments about Mark Wahlberg. And this just intensified the already negative opinions about Simu. But it should be noted that some people have said that Simu's comments were taken out of context in this instance, and that he was just responding to the comparison that other people had made. But this did not stop people voicing their negative opinions about Simu online. And it seems that this then led to many people criticising Simu being cast in the new Barbie movie. And it's been suggested that several of Simu's Barbie co-stars did not enjoy working with him. Let's talk more about that now. Simu's alleged issues with the Barbie cast. The Barbie movie was announced all the way back in 2009, but was eventually released in July 2023 and received mainly positive reviews and has become the 8th highest grossing film of the year. The movie was also released at the same time as the Christopher Nolan movie Oppenheimer, which led to the internet trend called Barbieheimer, where people were encouraged to watch both movies as a double feature. But several of the casting decisions in the Barbie movie were criticised online, such as Ryan Gosling being cast as the leading Ken, with people saying that Ryan was too old to play Ken because he is 42 years old. However, when Simu Liu was also announced as one of the main characters of Ken in Barbie, this also led to a lot of backlash from fans due to the alleged Reddit posts that Simu had made. And it's been suggested that some of Simu's Barbie co-stars may have also not enjoyed working with Simu. In July 2023, Ryan Gosling and Simu were both at a premiere for Barbie in Canada, with both actors being Canadian. But there was an awkward moment where Simu put his arm around Ryan, but Ryan brushed Simu off and told him not to touch him like that. Simu responded by asking if it was, quote, too tender for him, and then they awkwardly posed for the rest of the photos.
Yeah, is there, guys?
You know what? Yeah, that's too tender, you think? Fair enough.
You guys in the middle? Ryan, right here? Salute.
And this led many people to theorise that Ryan does not like Simu. However, Simu later responded to this moment in an Instagram story and denied that there was any tension between him and Ryan. Simu said, quote, "I'd beach off with this Canadian again in a heartbeat. He is the best human in every way, especially when he jokes around with us on the carpet and on set, infecting all of us with his Kenergy." Now let's get back to the issues that matter, like supporting our striking actors and writers fighting for fair wages. Simu also praised Ryan in an interview with Men's Health in July 2023 and said that Ryan always beat him to the gym and that Ryan is very disciplined. And Simu implied that the two men had a good working relationship. And people have pointed out that Ryan is notoriously deadpan in interviews and often makes fun of his co-stars, so this moment on the red carpet may have just been playful banter between the two men that got misconstrued. However, a few of Simu's other co-stars from Barbie have also made comments about Simu. For example, Margot Robbie, who played Barbie, was asked in an interview with Vanity Fair which of her Barbie co-stars is most like their on-screen character.
Most like their on-screen Barbie? Maybe Simu? He's such a Ken in real life. I love him.
However, on social media, people cut off the last part of what Robbie said when she said, quote, "I love him," which does take away some of the context of what Robbie said and makes it sound more critical than it actually probably was. And another example came from America Ferrera, who played Gloria in Barbie. And in an interview, Simu said that he loved playing Ken because of how dumb Ken is. And America asked Simu if he felt like he was being, quote, "typecast," implying that Simu himself is dumb.
I love playing a Ken because of how stupid they are. I loved they're just so idiotic. It was delicious.
Did you feel like you were getting typecast or?
Yeah, I mean,
And America did laugh, so it appeared to just be a joke, but Simu didn't really laugh, so it's unclear if he realised if this was a joke or not. And this moment led to one Twitter user reposting the video and saying, "No, because the whole cast doesn't like him." And this sentiment was shared by multiple people online. And so it seems that for a variety of reasons, Simu's public image is not entirely positive. And it also seems that several of Simu's Barbie co-stars have made some potentially negative comments about him. However, a lot of these comments seem to have just been a joke that got slightly taken out of context by fans, and we'll have to see if any more details come out to confirm if there really is an issue between Simu and his co-stars. So there you go, there was the video about the controversies of Simu Liu and why it's been alleged that some of his Barbie co-stars may have a problem with Simu. What do you think of this situation? And have you seen the Barbie movie? Let me know in the comments. If you'd like to get early access to my videos as well as exclusive content, you can become a member of my Patreon for just a few dollars a month and you'll unlock these amazing benefits. I'll put a link in the description. Please make sure you like, comment and share this video as it really helps support my channel. And of course, please make sure you hit the subscribe button to stay up to date about new uploads. Thanks for watching and I hope you'll join me again in future videos. Thank you, bye!